All right, I'm going to say something a bit controversial here, Janelle, that I'm not sure a lot of founders believe. But I think that a great fundraising process is 80% about the organization and 20% about the great pitching.
That's a relief because I love spreadsheets. Love them.
That is so strange for a human being to say that, Janelle. But you know what? Janelle is weird in the right way because you should really get into spreadsheets too. At this point, I've spoken to thousands of investors, and I have to confess, I don't really remember all the people I spoke to, definitely not the dates or the content, but I'm relieved that we have a good CRM system in place to organize all the stuff.
Spreadsheets.
Janelle, do you think that people understand what a CRM is?
Maybe, maybe not. So a CRM is a customer relationship management tool.
That's right. So there's a lot of versions of this. You might have heard of companies like Salesforce or HubSpot, Pipedrive, whatever. But a CRM can actually even be a simple spreadsheet.
So Eric, why don't we take everyone through a sample spreadsheet that they can use for their fundraising process?
That's a good idea. Uncapped Notes is a series produced by Hustle Fund designed for first-time founders.
Follow us on socials and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Okay, Janelle, so on the screen in front of us is an example simple fundraising spreadsheet that everyone can actually download themselves. If you go to this link here, which we'll include in the notes in our YouTube channel for this episode, you can actually copy and paste this for yourself. All right, let's go back here. And it's not that important to see all these details, but we have very simple columns here. So the name of the investor or their fund, the contact information, what type of investor. Sometimes it's helpful to know who's an angel versus a fund or something else, family office. The referrer, my gosh, this is important. And then what stage are they at in terms of considering investment into your company, how much they have committed. This notes section is actually the critical part of the CRM to indicate what did you discuss during the call, and how much have you closed in column H, and then finally the next contacts, because I find that I need to know and set dates for myself for when I should reach out to that person. All right, so let's actually get through like a really quick example here. Janelle, why don't you make up the name of a VC or angel that we're talking to here?
Let's go with Giraffe Ventures.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's go ahead and I'm going to zoom in and just show people how we're going to fill this out. Let's change investor E to Giraffe Ventures, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's say it's giraffe at giraffe.com here. And what type of investor is this?
They're a venture fund,
A
clearly.
venture fund, yeah. Okay, probably $1 billion under management. I
Oh,
guess,
for
right?
sure.
Okay. And then the name of this person, let's go with Ms. Giraffe. Yeah, okay. So we have some of the basic details here. And this sounds like it's all things that you can keep in your head, Janelle. But I'm telling you, once it's like hundreds of people, contact information, this stuff gets lost pretty easily.
Right. I speak to a lot of stuffed animals, so I like to keep it all organized in a spreadsheet. So stage, Eric?
Yeah, let's talk about this. So this is something that you may want to customize, but this is exactly what our CRM looks like at Hustle Fund. So you have the lead. Generally, let's define some of this stuff. Like the lead for me is someone that I have a referral into, but we haven't had our first meeting yet. And then there's first contact. So
That could be an email?
exactly. So just like the first time that we've been able to engage, and that they've actually been reciprocating back by saying like, yeah, let's meet. So let's talk about first pitch. What's that?
So the first time that you have set up a meeting with them and get to pitch them on your company.
Congratulations. Giraffe Ventures is already starting to get interested here. Next phase is due diligence. So what I usually do when I set due diligence as a stage, Janelle, is this is the period of time after the pitch where they're considering investment. They haven't said yes or no yet, and they want to see some more materials. And if you get lucky, maybe you move into the soft commit phase.
So Giraffe has some money that they're interested in investing, and they've actually given you a dollar amount that they're going to put towards your company.
That's right. Nothing might have been signed yet, but it's a verbal indication of interest. But when you move to this next phase, signed,
That's also when the confetti drops from the ceiling and you have got this full commit from the investor.
boom shakalaka. Now, there's some other phases here that would be good to know about. Rejected and ghosted. So these are the bad ones, right? But a no is not truly ever a real no, but you got to track these things too. So those are the different stages. And after you have conversations or different touch points with these people, make sure that you're updated, because fundraising is also a team sport, right? Like maybe Janelle, you and I do this stuff together, and we need to have a central database to put this stuff together. Okay, the Giraffe Fund decided to, how much did they commit?
I think they were talking 150.
$150,000. Let's put that in there. Let's say that we wanted to put some notes. So we spoke, let's say on September 15, 2022, just put something there. And we said talked about hippos and giraffes. They seem so interested. What I like to do is I just try to add more and more notes of the touch points just so we know about what was being discussed at each time. That's a helpful archive sometimes because you may need to go back and say oh yeah, remember the time we talked about hippos? It's yes, thank you for that, remembering that. And then of course close. So once they're in the signed phase, I think this is the time where we put in the money, right?
Yep, and confetti still drops from the ceiling.
$150,000 of confetti and next contact. So let's talk about this. I, again, think that this is a really critical part of any good CRM is making sure that you know when to reach out to them next.
So if you're still in the phase of having discussions with them, maybe in that due diligence phase or soft commit, sometimes people forget to reach out to you. So you want to be diligent about making sure you reach out to them at regular intervals. How long would you go between reaching out after someone's soft committed?
This is a great question. So the broader point that you're making that you should be in control of this process is critical. Do not wait for your investors to reach back out to you. If you've seen some earlier Uncapped Notes episodes that me and Janelle put together, people ghost all the time or just even forget. Now, if people have committed, I generally get really aggressive. Every 2 days to 3 days is probably appropriate to just make sure that you're in process, making sure that they have all the materials that they need, that they feel unblocked. These are the things that you really need to check in on about.
And this might also be a good time to remember that unless you have a hard no, you should keep reaching out.
Heck to the yes. There have been times where we have reached out 14 times to an investor, ghosted every time, but on that 14th time, they committed $500,000. So a no is never truly a no unless they actually say no, Janelle.
Bottom line, founders, is we want you to think of your CRM as your critical tool for any successful fundraise. It can start as a simple spreadsheet. It organizes your activities and reminders. It serves as a useful note-taking tool. And this can be your list for your investor newsletter. Bonus, if you actually set up a CRM tool, you can track all emails and opens.
And for that last one, you may not be able to get away with just a spreadsheet to do the tracking, but if you invest in a simple tool like a HubSpot or Pipedrive or whatever, usually they have mechanisms to track those kinds of things, and that can be a nice to have too.
Do you have any tips or tricks on how you have made your fundraising process more organized and streamlined? Drop that in the comments below.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Uncapped Notes.